Hey, good morning, my friends. Today I was revisiting the fact that I am not thinking at a high enough level in my business. So I was revisiting my mindset, and if you're a techie who's really buried in your work, or a web designer who's really buried in your work, or anybody who's really buried in their work, this show is for you. Make sure you share it. I'll see you live on YouTube, Facebook here in about 3:50. Hey, my friends, it is about that time, 9 a.m., Friday, October 4th. It's your boy, Patrick Almond, here with you live on Facebook, preferably on YouTube. That's where we're really growing today, is YouTube. So if you're looking for a place to watch and you have no idea where to watch, you know what you do? Do me a favor and pick YouTube, okay? I'm trying to get my stats up there. As much as I love Facebook and Twitch and the other places, YouTube is really where it's at. So help a brother out over there. Good morning, good morning. If it's your first time, welcome. Welcome to the party that we call Patrick. I am Patrick Allman, and I own a digital marketing agency called Stop Doing Nothing Media, and we go live 3 times a week to talk to you about life and business and whatever's on your mind, and getting businesses organized. That's probably what all this is centering around. Is helping you prioritize the right things in life, the wrong things in life, and getting you, all organized. Well, I've seen some pretty cool things today already online. First of all, there's nothing great in the news. I checked. If there was something great in the news, I would be sharing it with you. And if you have a good news, please definitely put it in the comments because we will definitely talk about that. But this is cool. I saw a friend of mine, a connection of mine on Facebook named Jason Rule, put out a quote, and I don't know if it's original or not. I remember hearing it in some form or fashion a while back, but the company that needs a new tool and hasn't bought it is already paying for it. That's what I had up on the screen here for a second. Let me get that back up there. The company that needs a new tool and hasn't bought it yet is already paying for it. Meaning, real quick interpretation, it means that you're paying for it with some other way. You're paying for it in terms of time. You're paying for it in terms of lost revenue. You're paying for it in terms of lost productivity, if you will, for your business. So you're paying for it. Hey Brian, good to see you, man. You're paying for it indirectly or directly. Okay. If you need a new tool, like we obviously have an amazing tool that has AI that does all this CRM and all this business and marketing management. If you're not using our tool, if you're relying on sticky notes and spreadsheets and throwing spaghetti against the wall and throwing darts at a dartboard for your marketing, then you know what? You are losing revenue. You are losing leads. You are losing automation. So trust me, you're paying for it. That's the case whenever something is free, right? In the world, whenever people see sales or free or complimentary, someone's paying for it, okay? Facebook isn't free. Have you guys ever seen that comic? I'll have to find it sometime. There's a comic of these two, I think it's two pigs standing next to a barn, and they're like, "Wow, I can't believe we get to live and grow up here for free, and we get free food." Yeah, you know what do they say? If what are they? What's the phrase that in the bottom of that comic? Oh, if it's free, if you're getting something for free, then you are the product, or something like that, right? And that's the case on Facebook. If Facebook is free, that means your product and your attention is the product. So but in Jason Rule's case, Jason, man, thank you for sharing that. Hopefully it gets reshared several times on Facebook. And if you're looking for Jason, just go through my connections on Facebook. You'll find him there. But yeah, the company that needs a new tool and hasn't bought it yet is already paying for it. And that's something in business that you will actually learn, hopefully pretty quickly, is that things cost, but they don't always cost in terms of like hard cash costs, okay? We have things that will cost us in our personal and our business lives just based on the time they consume for us. And this is something that I learn more and more every single day in business when I look at my time and my calendar and the things I want to do. And you realize pretty fast that number one, there is not enough time for you to do everything. There will never be enough time for you to do everything. And number two, whenever you do dip your toe into something that is not the best use of your time or the best of your productivity, you are going to be paying for it on the back end someplace. You're going to be paying for it in lost marketing, lost leads, lost follow-up, lost data, poor management of data, lost chances for exposure. I mean, there's all kinds of ways we pay for stuff when we don't really want to lay out the cash for it. Okay, so just be aware of that. And I didn't know it, but that actually kind of accidentally segues into the topic I want to talk about today when it comes to business management and thinking at a higher level. And this is something that's been on my mind recently, as I actually kind of revisited the sign that's behind my laptop over here. I see this every day, and I have to be careful not getting numb to it. But a while back, I found the 10 disciplines from Coach, whatever the big coaching program is, the coaching program. Oh no, you know what? This may be from the EOS. This is either from EOS or from Executive Coach, that coaching program. But I found a list here a while back of the 10 disciplines, and we all have different disciplines. But this list was nice and concise, and I printed that out a while back. And so it's you're looking at me in the camera right here, and the 10 disciplines are up here. And I have to be careful that I take time every single day to pay attention to these. And I have to admit that sometimes I don't. So my goal today was to kind of go through some of the things I think you should be thinking about when you want to think higher level in your business. And this is targeted specifically for my friends who are any deeply creative businesses or deeply technical businesses where you started that business, you've been at that business for a little while, and the business isn't growing without you. Okay, it relies on you to do everything, and you're doing stuff like accounting, which you hate. Sometimes you're doing the things in your business that aren't really the core thing that you really got into business to do. If you're a creative person, let's say you're a filmmaker or an artist or a photographer, you got into business to do that one thing. You didn't become, a professional videographer to be the best at QuickBooks, okay? You didn't become a professional videographer to be the best at your CRM or to be the best at your website, okay? You became a professional videographer to take off the lens cap, press the red button, and shoot great footage and edit great footage, okay? And sometimes we get caught down in the minutia, and I am as guilty as anybody. For those of you that are watching for a while, remember half the stuff I talk about are either problems I've had or problems I'm having that I'm trying to solve, and I will actively try to sit here and solve them on camera. So this is a problem that even I run into sometimes. And my fascination, or excuse me, my main issue is that all along in my life, I get fascinated by technical tools. And if you're someone like this, let me know in the comments. I get fascinated by my tech, and I'm the kind of person that burns time on the meta, if you will, on the meta tech, the tech of how the tech runs. Okay. And I can lose days on that. I remember when I was much younger, I could lose weekends playing with a piece of technology or solving a software development problem because that's my background, okay, is software development. And if you're anyone who's ever had to work with large amounts of data or do coding or get lost deep down a creative project, you will lose time. You will 100% lose time. These days, I've noticed my business days with the good priority management that I'm doing and the good planning and the good time management, that my days are just flying by. And it's not always in small minutia work, but it can be sometimes. And for those of you that are stuck in that minutia world, we know what this show is for you. This show is going to show you hopefully some things you can use to get out of that, really low level thinking and get you up into higher level thinking. Okay. Now there are going to be times where you're going to still want to do the lower level work because it's fun. A lot of people go into business because they like doing the work. They don't want to manage the business. They just like doing the work. Okay. I'm the kind of guy that likes doing the work. But at the same time, if I want my business to scale, I need to be thinking. I need to be thinking about higher level issues, okay, higher level problems, higher level visions, higher level problem solving. So I've got a list of things to go through here, and then I realize that there are some things on this 10 discipline list that I really like that I want to go through also, okay? So again, this is for people who are stuck down in the minutia of a business or who get fascinated with the thing they're selling versus being fascinated with the problem it solves and trying to get it in front of the people that need those problems solved. Okay. A lot of you know that we are a high level reseller. So there are times where I get kind of bogged down in the details of some of the cool technical things it can do without focusing, without paying attention to the high level, pun intended, problems it can solve. Okay. And you know what? If that happens to you, drop an amen or a number one. I don't care. Either one. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or amen in the comments down there. Sometimes I think about, because I'm a technical person, I'm a marketing person, sometimes I think about that getting to a higher level means thinking of things higher in the funnel. Okay, so if you're in my world, or you've been anywhere in my world, you know that we consist a lot of SEO. We consist of a lot of SEO work, website work, CRM work, landing page work, optimization, ad work. Where there's all these little tiny technical things that we can do in the marketing world that will consume 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours of your day in a heartbeat. Sometimes you'll spend your time on a single problem, and your day will be shot once that problem, as you work on that problem, okay? But I like to think thinking higher level, like almost moving up the funnel. So down at the funnel, at the bottom of the funnel is the product that you're selling, right? And then as you move up the funnel, you kind of get to, well, so you have the actual product. Let's say you're selling a course, okay? So a course is the bottom of your funnel. That's the very, very bottom of your funnel right there, okay? Once you got someone into your course, or you get someone into your course, then they can consume the content and you're good to go. But before the course, you've got, the CRM where the sale happened. And then before that, you've got the order form where the sale obviously happened also. And then before that, you got the click. And before that, you got the impression. And before that, you got the view or whatever. And then before that, you got the traffic. And before the traffic, you got the ads. So thinking higher level to me in business almost means like moving up that funnel, because even before the ads and before the traffic and before the eyeballs, you had to come up with like an ideal customer avatar or the kind of person you wanted to target, okay? And that's higher level thinking. Higher level thinking is you thinking up here, you know what, I want to target the female business owner in the ages of 22 to 36 who are having XYZ problems and want it solved with this, okay? Once you come up with that grand vision and you give it to a marketing strategy person or you give it to your ad person, they can then break that down into the technical bits that are needed and then build all the things up there. But as a business owner, you want to see how much you can focus more on that big problem, okay? That big problem. If you can quantify the big problem that you solve in business, okay, then you can kind of hand off all the pieces to somebody else. So if you're the person who has a grandiose vision of a problem you solve, you don't have to know how the ads work or how the ad clicks work or how the CRM works or how the automation works or how the trigger links work. You do not have to know those things, okay? Become the best problem solver as you move up in your business, okay? Don't become the best technician, okay? I have made the mistake of trying to be the best technician, and I'm really good at what I do, okay? But I always know I need to be thinking higher level. You need to be thinking up that funnel to the big problems I can solve. That's what we really want to do as a business owner, in my opinion. If you're somebody who has these big, giant, grandiose dreams, is you want to solve the bigger problems. So try to move higher up the funnel there, okay? Higher in the problem-solving world and find people who can implement your technical vision, okay? Um, Another way that you kind of move up, looking at my notes here, kind of move up when it comes to being next level in your business is getting better about priority management and time management in your calendar. And this is something that I talk about, probably with every topic, a technical or strategic topic in the world is just time management and priority management. And if you're somebody who's trying to move up in the way of your thinking, then you need to start thinking in bigger blocks of time, okay? You don't need to be thinking about what you're doing this 5 minutes or this 30 minutes or for the next 15 minutes, okay? You need to be blocking off hours of time. You need to be thinking in terms of hours and days and weeks and months. That's how you get into long-term vision thinking. The technical person will have woken up today, Friday, October 4th, at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and they will have remembered, oh, you know what, I went to bed last night and I was working on this technical problem, so I'm going to resume that, and whenever I get done with that, I'll see what's up next in my calendar list or in my ClickUp list, and I'll knock that out. If you're going to be more strategic, you have to focus on, oh, it's Friday, okay? Friday is strategy day. I have 4 things I need to get done on Friday, okay? And they're in 2-hour blocks. Carrie, girlfriend, I can't wait to see you. Vinny, good buddy, good from Tucson. Are you on the road traveling? You're not normally in Tucson, are you, Vinny? So, but Carrie, I'm looking forward to seeing you, Carrie, here in about, 18 days? 18 days or so? Carrie's like one of my online secret besties. She's a brilliant technical woman. I get to see her pretty soon. But goodness gracious, where was I going? Oh, you need to be in terms of time management. You need to be thinking in terms of larger blocks of things. Okay, and so the way that my time is structured is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are for meetings. Okay, very specific bracketed meetings. Meaning, Zach, man, appreciate you guys tuning in. We moved to Tucson 2 years ago. Okay, Vinny, I apologize, man. Sometimes I just lose track of where you guys are. But good to hear that you're there. And Vinny, if you have to remind me every week, man, please charge it to my head, not to my heart. I love you guys. You know I do. It's just I don't always remember where you live. Okay. So getting back to Patrick's week, I plan my week now, and this has evolved over time. This is so cool. Is my Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are my kind of client planning times, client meeting times. Okay, it used to be Monday through Thursday, and over time, I've gotten better about limiting it to 3 days a week. So if you were to go to my calendar to pick up some time to talk to Patrick, you can only pick Monday through Wednesday. Okay, Thursday and Friday are mine. You can't have them. There's some very rare exceptions. I think we all do, but for the most part, Thursday and Friday are mine. You can't have them. So Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, you get to book Zoom calls with me. I think my time I have allocated is either 9 to 3 or 9 to 4. And then I have some business rules on there that say there have to be, so many gaps in between. There have to be so many, only so many appointments per day. Okay. That's because I used to be the person who would leave my calendar open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. And I said, no breaks, no bracketing, no bracketing, no breaks, no time bracketing, no priority management. You know what? You book the time on my calendar and I will work all my other stuff around that. And it took me a little while, but I found out that didn't work for me. So now again, it's Monday through Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday are media times and planning times. Okay. Thursday, I tend to focus a little bit more on media, repurposing things, creating more content, things like that. And Friday tends to be either a volunteer time and or strategic planning time. And Friday is the day I try to dig out of the inbox and try to make sure that ClickUp is ready for next week. And I don't always accomplish it, but at least I know I have those times for that now. And you can't book calendar, you can't book appointments on those days. So I made it so that time is mine now. And then I do some work on Saturday and Sunday. One thing I haven't planned recently is time offsite to spend on that. But I go to the occasional coffee shop when I'm not traveling. I try to get some time away from the home office or from the office. For me, a change in environment does wonders for my creativity. It gets my juices flowing, and it gets me around the really smart people. So um, look at being more picky with your time, if you will, if you're someone who wants to move on to a higher level in business. Okay. People association. Yeah, Vinny's right. Vinny always has brilliance here. I love hearing productivity tips from others. You can always learn from others and adapt it 100%. I am not the person that came up with probably any of the stuff that makes me productive. I've just learned from others. I've been lifted up on others' shoulders, and I've just adapted them for myself. And I've tried. Oh my goodness gracious! It's kind of funny. Um, I remember this now. So here in Oklahoma City, we have a billboard company that will pick out the occasional tweet and put that on one of their digital billboards. Okay, and they picked out one of my tweets a while back, and the tweet was, "I waste a lot of time reading productivity tips." And so that was actually put on a billboard on the side of the freeway, and I have a picture of it. I think it's Whistler, might be the local company that does that. But yeah, that was Patrick for a while. I wasted a lot of time trying to be productive. The most ironic thing you can do there. Outside of time blocking, I would say that if you want to move up to higher level, you got to change who you associate with. You really do. You have to 100% change who you're associating with. You have to associate with people that think in terms of the big problems, okay? And this is actually probably one of the reasons that I'm going to this conference here later this month. We're at the 4th, so it's the 21st. So I've got 16, 17 days to get to this conference. But I get energy from being around people who I know are doing better, bigger, and better things than me. And majority of the people in the world are doing better, bigger, and better things than me. So I wasn't sure if I was going to make it to this conference, but I got everything worked out. So I've got a room now. I've got my attendance paid, and I was chatting with someone online earlier that, I get all my rest ahead of time because when I'm at events like this, I plan on doing as little sleeping as possible. Okay, If you want to network at 4:30 in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning over eggs, then let's go do that. Okay, my goal is to share and absorb as much as possible. I'll rest at the end. At the end, I'm going to my buddy's ranch that has a hot tub, and I'll be sitting in the hot tub and trying to absorb everything that I learned. But for the time being, when I'm there, that is really important. Kind of strategy slash absorbs in time for me. So associating with people. So try to you're probably in some Facebook groups or even some masterminds or even in person. You might be associating with people that are more kind of heads down technical people. And this is not a bad thing. So I'm not saying that you're associating with bad people and you dissociate with good people. Please do not take it as that. I'm saying you're associating with technicians who have technical, tactical thinking, and maybe you need to move up that funnel I was talking about earlier and associate more with people who have the strategic thinking of the world. Okay, so you got to stop thinking in terms of, and this is something we just talked about. You got to stop thinking in terms of like minutes and hours and associate and days and associate with people that think in terms of weeks, months, quarters. That's something else I do a lot now is I pay a close attention to quarters. Like my countdown timer, just went off. September, end of September, because that was the end of the third quarter. So if I had fourth quarter goals, it's time for me to look at my fourth quarter goals. And also, going up in higher level thinking allows you to do something really cool. It allows you to put your deadlines for getting things done in terms of bigger milestones. So you go from uh, you go from thinking about what am I going to get done this week or this day, and more to thinking about what am I going to get done this month and this quarter. And that's a really cool way to think, because I use ClickUp, okay? And if you use ClickUp or Asana or Monday, it doesn't really matter. But I like to look at terms. I like to look at things in terms of when they are due, by the day, by the week, by the month, or whatever. But I'm starting to get better about making things due in a certain quarter, and this allows you to plan backwards. So if you're going to make something due in a certain quarter, like I want to start working on what my first quarter paid advertising is going to be, okay? I just know there are certain things I want to do in the first quarter. I don't know what day, week, or month it's going to happen yet. Okay. I just know it's going to be in the first quarter. So that then allows me to back into the monthly planning and back into the weekly planning. Okay. And same thing with your business goals and your revenue goals. You know, if you start thinking about how much do you want to make every single day, or how much do you want to make every single week, it's gonna drive you a little bit batty, if you ask me. You got to think in terms of how much do you want to make every single month. Give yourself, 12, 30-day chunks of ways to make money, okay? Or maybe even more so with a 2-month period or a 3-month period, okay? That way you give yourself a little bit of grace. Maybe if you don't pull in the $5,000, contract on January 30th and you get it on February 2nd, well, you know what? At least you accomplished it in the first quarter, okay? And that should be something to be recognized here. Really quickly, Vinny, I was eating eggs way back then, huh, dude? I've had eggs with you at 6 a.m. probably 15 years ago. I started our friendship. 15 years ago. Wow, we've been friends that long. That is pretty cool. I don't remember what it was. My guessing was it was either Arizona or Vegas, probably one of the two places I think we've hung out. I don't think we've hung out in New York. But so start associating with people that think in terms of bigger problems. Outsource and hire more. That's on my list right here. Something I'm always struggling with is to outsource and hire more. But I've pretty much got it set up now. So all my new work is either subbed out or delegated. So delegated is the real word I meant there. It may not be outsourced. It may not be hiring. It may be delegated to someone who's not you. If I had advice for someone that was looking to staff up, I would say, number one, do it when you have at least the ability to hire more than one person. Okay. So, your business has to grow enough for you to be able to afford another person or two. Okay. And one of the things I learned early on, which I try to do, or excuse me, I try to guide my clients to do, which doesn't always work out, but does work out better when possible, is one of the first people, once you think you're at the level where you can start growing, one of the first things you should do is hire a project manager, okay? Yes, you can hire a technician, but a project manager coordinates those people. So I like telling people, if you can hire 2 people, do that. Or if you can hire 1.5 people, do that. And get the project manager who has some technical skills and who can help manage me as well as maybe a technician or two. Because then what you can do is if you need some of the other tactical skills, you can delegate it on your project manager to hire them. Okay. So for example, one of the things I've done for a passing a project is I've hired a project manager and I've said, hey, we need these 3 technical roles. Go find them for me. And then even the process of finding the staff is on somebody else to filter them out and present you candidates, okay? It's not up to you. So if you get a project manager early, then you don't have to worry about the technicians. You just go to your project manager and say, I need technicians for this. Make it happen, okay? You give them your criteria. You look at things jointly and decide. But one of the best things you can do, in my opinion, when it comes to an early hire is just hire someone to coordinate you and to manage you and your projects and your ideas. And then from there, you can get down to actually hiring the technicians. So we had eggs in Vegas. Is that right, Vin? Is that what I'm hearing? Okay. You're gonna basically delegate more to get in your higher level thinking. I didn't even realize that my next bullet point for my notes was hire someone who will manage your priorities. And making sure that you train that person. This is also here in my notes, training someone who thinks like you do for priority management. So, I cannot say I've always been the best person when it comes to hiring, but I have learned to, hire, what is it? Hire slow and fire fast. Okay. You've got to hire and work with people who are going to think like you do when it comes to, executive thinking and managing things in larger blocks. Your projects in this world, most of your marketing projects, most of your business projects, if you're doing it right, are going to be long-term or big projects. Projects that are going to take, months, weeks, months, quarters to complete. Okay, because if you are getting paid more, which you should for your bigger projects, then you're going to have the bigger projects are going to have a wider scope. Okay, so when you're coming to like one of the first things I like to do in a project once we know the scope is to kind of back into it with milestones. Then once you know your big giant project, you can then back into it with, weekly milestones, quarterly milestones, yes, but weekly milestones, daily milestones, things like that. So um, you got to think, you got to basically work with somebody who knows your style and knows how you think in terms of things like milestones and priority management. And those are just kind of my quick notes there on that. My last one on this, before we jump over to the list of 10 disciplines, is thinking in terms of dashboards. And this is something that um, has been a real I've kind of started fanboying over dashboards, okay? And the reason I think I've been doing that is because my goal is to be able to run my entire business off of an iPad. And you know what looks really good on iPads? Dashboards. So I can do something like take, take any kind of business dashboard. Let me see if I can find one handy. I don't have one handy. I should have one, for example. But iPads are really great for business dashboards, meaning that my CRM or my marketing or whatever I'm doing, I wanted to be able to push to an app where I can just pull it up on my iPad, scrolling, kind of flipping through it, looking at some general numbers, and I'm not looking at specifics. So my goal is to live off of dashboards and iPads. And I would say if you're somebody who wants to move up to the next level in your business, focus on using dashboards more to see your productivity and to see the state of your business. Our CRM, Playmakers, which is white labeled HighLevel, has a beautiful dashboarding feature that they're building out, more and more every month. And I like being able to just going into a dashboard and you see colors and you see numbers and you get an instant state of how well your business is doing. Okay. You can dig into the minutia later, but as a business owner or as a mid-level manager, you want to not be focused on the individual numbers. You may be wanting focusing on the percentage of the numbers versus something else, which shows progress. You may be wanting to know numbers rolled up into weekly and monthly numbers versus daily numbers, and same thing with sales or same thing with expenses. You should be able, in my opinion, you should be able to pull up a single dashboard in your business. Databox is one of the ones I like to use. HighLevel's dashboard is pretty good, but you should be able to pull up a single dashboard in a heartbeat and see some numbers and see some red and green and know the state of your business. Okay. You should be able to easily glance at the state of your business in just a couple of numbers. Okay. And if you can't, in my opinion, then your business is you are still kind of too much down in the weeds, if you will, when it comes to your business. Okay. So I'm already kind of working on what I want my end game to be. I think I said it the other day. I want the bigger iPad, or maybe this one, that has a Wi-Fi and an LTE connection, a cellular connection, and I can just pull it up while I'm drinking my coffee and say, boom, boom, boom. Okay, I'm good. Or boom, boom, boom. Okay, this is what we have to work on this quarter, kind of thing. And Vinny said something here. What did Vinny say here? One tip I would have is to write out all the stuff you need for the project in a Google Doc or whatever. So the next time you hire someone, you have the basics down. Excellent point. Yeah, work on templates on your Google Docs. ClickUp has document templates and project templates, which I like. HighLevel has snapshots. Okay, it's so easy to templatize the business these days, especially when it comes to stuff like SOPs and technical things. Okay. So we've covered dashboards. If you want to move up in your level business, think next level, start thinking more in terms of dashboards and being able to see things at a glance, the reds and the greens and the stuff like that versus the individual numbers or looking at the individual spreadsheet, which has all the numbers in it. Okay. So this here, I believe, was from the EOS conference, and this is the 10 disciplines. And there are probably 2 or 3 out here that, so Vinny, is that what you're watching? Is that what you're watching on? Is the iPad? Data blocks? I don't know. Harvey, describe data blocks to me. I'm gonna look that up real quick. Data box. I'm sorry. I see what you're saying now. No, data box. So if I had one dashboarding tool that I would say is absolutely the best, it would be databox.com. Okay. And there's a couple of reasons for this. And I don't always get to use it for every client, but this is why I like DataBox. Number one, it displays things. You know what? Why don't we just bring it up? Why don't we just do a screen share? That's a good idea, Patrick. Let's just do a screen share. Let's do a screen share. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Okay, bear with me while I get all my other screens out of the way for you. And go here and put DataBox up there. And then come over here and drag this here and get rid of that pop-up. And you know how it is. You gotta just close out everything when you want to share your screen. I don't want you guys looking at the high heel red pumps I'm buying. Okay. So can we now? Let's see. Can we? How does our screen look for screen sharing? Is it going to work? Okay. Okay. Here we go. Here's what I was referring to. So data box, let's clean up my screen a little bit. So data box right here is the tool I absolutely love for dashboarding. And there's a couple of reasons here. And unfortunately, they don't have a native high-level integration. So all the integration comes from either Stripe or from building custom metrics. And by the way, that's one of the things I like about it is you can define these little metrics you see here. You can define these as custom metrics and then pump data into them, which is one of the reasons I like it. If I come over here to like example dashboards, let me see if I can fit. Yeah, so let's see if they can let me go into a demo right here. So yeah, okay, cool. So we can go into a demo right here. So you can do stuff like let me see, is that so you can pick any number of dashboards here, like we'll pick this one right here, okay? And there's different data types. So you can see numbers and bubbles and charts and things like that, okay? You come into here, and you know what is nice about things like this? Red, red, red. You instantly get performance versus previous time periods. And so this is the kind of thing I want to see when I wake up in the morning is I want to come in here and I want to see numbers and I want to see reds or I want to see greens. You can come over here to stuff like there should be one over here for your SEO. So there's like a dashboard for an SEO, which shows you that, oh, you know what? You've got some good green stuff over here and you've got some poor red stuff over here on the right. Got some red, red, red. Okay, that gives me an idea what to talk about in my next meeting, okay? Or, there's, you can come up to a sales dashboard right here. It'll show you, oh, there's my profit. It's green versus the previous time period. And then you have all these like little green percentage numbers. So the fact that you can at a glance see a percentage of improvement or a percentage of a drop, in my opinion, is very handy. That way, when you go into your next meeting or your next strategic planning session, you're like, boom, we've got some reds, we've got some greens. What can we work on here? Okay, and this allows you to pull in data. This data box allows you to pull in data from more data sources than I've ever seen in the other dashboarding tool. Okay, and again, you can have different data types. You can have like little gas gauges that show you progress towards a goal, which I love. You can obviously have charts that have data comparing previous time period and the current time period. You can have detailed data down here as far as individually how your ads are doing or individually how much money you've spent on this stuff. So it has more data options than I've seen in any other tool. But some of the other reasons I really like DataBox are a couple of one. Number one, there's a mobile app. So the stuff I want to do on an iPad, I'm talking about, I can see these very easy on an iPad because there's an iPad app and it works beautifully. Absolutely love it. Number two, DataBox is the only tool I've seen which will actually do forecasting, if you will, and help you set goals. So if you're not achieving something, it can warn you. And I'll give you an example here. See, this should be the goal module right here. So what you can do right here is you can take any metric. Let's say a revenue generated goal, okay? And let's say it's going to be based on a spreadsheet. So let's say it's revenue generated, but we're going to look at some of these numbers up here. You can basically give it a target. See the target column over here? A target, and it can take a metric versus your target, and it can warn you when things aren't going the direction that they should be or when they're going very well. So this is an example of this one right here. So this is a Google Sessions Analytics goal that the person has said, I want 300,000 hits sessions per month, okay? They have a month left because we're just at the beginning of October. So far, they've got 20,000, okay? What happens is that sometime throughout this coming month, is this tool will warn this person if they are or if they are not going to hit their goal based on the trending data. So let's say this is what? So this is October 4th. They have 19,000 views. Let's say they get, if you do the math backwards, this is what, 30,000 per month. This is going to be approximately what, 10,000 people per day. And so right now, this is not on target to match this 300,000 goal here. So what'll happen is this tool will actually warn you during the month that you are or you are not going to hit your goal, but it notifies you before. So if this, if a data box gets 3 weeks into it and it realizes based on where you are plus what your average is per day, you're not going to make your goal. The tool will actually warn you and give you a heads up so you're not shocked and surprised at the end of the month, okay? That's one of the things I love about it. You can do custom morning reports, which I've done those for clients before, where I basically set up a custom morning report. It's called a, let me see here. It's any one of these dashboards. It's usually metrics. Usually I pick a series of metrics and you say, put this on a morning dashboard and send it to the client, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. So when they wake up in the morning, they know what their numbers are and they don't have to guess and you don't have to, and everyone gets the same numbers. So everyone's not wondering when it comes to like daily or weekly metrics. So you can set up like a cool little dashboard. And this also works very well with Slack, works very well with the iOS versions of the tool. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't pull in a ton of high-level data yet. And this is one of the things I've been pining for, is this is a good tool for dashboards. If you're going to move up, doing higher level business and your higher level thinking in your business. Segmetrics is another good tool that does work with high level natively, but is not as flexible. Okay. Thanks, Harvey. I will. If I don't, hit me up on DM. So Segmetrics is a very powerful tool. It does dashboarding also. And it does work with high level. It's not as flexible. It doesn't have the forecasting options. And the building the dashboards and the metrics are not as flexible as they are here. So if you're somebody who is a Segmetrics, if you work for Segmetrics, this is not me dissing your product. This is me telling you this is a more complicated product than something like a data box here. And by the way, pricing wise, you're looking at significant price differences. This one is based on, $95 a month, $295. This one gets a little bit more expensive, a little faster, versus something like DataBox is not quite as expensive. I don't know what the pricing is on it, but both of these tools, by the way, allow you to white label the tool, which is really cool. So everything these days, obviously, is we're white labeling, because all of us are coaches and consultants and agencies, right? So be thinking about dashboards more. DataBox is one, like I said, my absolute favorite out of anyone I've seen ever, but it doesn't work necessarily great with the CRM that I'm using these days. So it's always a tough choice for Mr. Patrick here to figure out the right tools that he wants to use, right? Okay, so really quickly, I want to cover a few things off this 10 disciplines list here. So discipline number 1 is 10-year thinking. And again, this is not Patrick. This is from the 10 disciplines.com. And let me see which organization put this together. The 10 disciplines. This is right. And this is EOS, or is this Strategic Coach? This is Shine Free Chapter. Who is this from? The 10 Disciplines of Traction. Okay, so this is going to be probably from this is probably going to be from either Strategic Coach, or, you know what? Somebody help me out who this is. Yeah, Harvey, man, I'd be all for building that app in the tool. Anyway, so the 10 disciplines at the 10disciplines.com is where I downloaded this. And number one, 10-year thinking. And so there are a few in here I really love. 10-year thinking, discipline one. Shift your mind from short-term thinking to thinking in 10-year time frames. Okay, we all need to be doing that. Got it. Let me see, what was a couple other ones. Oh, number 9 is something that guided me recently. Discipline number 9: put everything in one place. Pick the one place where you will capture every idea, commitment, thought, action item, and promise. Okay, that for me became ClickUp. Okay, I was going back and forth between Notion and ClickUp, and I realized I'd been using ClickUp for a long time anyways. It already had a ton of my data in there. Why would I try to switch everything to Notion, which didn't have every single thing in here? So those two are the ones I really like to do a lot. Don't do $25 an hour work is really good. So that's discipline number 7. Never do anything you could pay someone $25 an hour to do. Good one. And then probably the other one, so like 7, 8, and 9. So I like number 1. All these are good, but I like number 1. I like number 7, 8, and 9. Number 7, don't do $25 an hour work. Okay. Number 8, prepare every night. Before you hits the pillow every night, document the next day's plan. Okay. That's one that I'm struggling on a lot right now, but I'm getting better at. Okay. Notion. Ryan, my man, my pilot man. Where are you finding these, Ryan? Harvey, so you became a Notion fan? I was just, it just didn't do a lot of the stuff for me. I'll talk about that in a second. So discipline number 1, 10-year thinking. Discipline number 7, don't do $25 an hour work. Discipline number 8, okay, prepare every night for the day ahead. And discipline number 9, put everything in one place. When it came to Notion versus ClickUp, Notion you could add like projects and tasks to, but it was more of a general document management system. I prefer more structure. So for ClickUp, project management is first and foremost, and then the document management kind of came later. And like I said, I had been using ClickUp for years before Notion got really popular. I compared the two of them side by side for a while, and Notion was almost too flexible and too freeform for me, if that makes sense, okay? Versus ClickUp, I'm really loving there. So if you're shopping between the two, try them both out. But I'll ultimately pick the one that's going to work well for you. So next level thinking. So go get this chart called the 10 Disciplines. The website on the bottom says the 10disciplines.com, which means I downloaded it from there a while back and I printed it out. It's on my wall right here. But try to revisit some of the things I've said today when it comes to my notes. Let me pull these notes up again. I just realized that I've got a frog in my throat. So let me go back to okay, my show notes. Here we go. While I'm scrolling to my show notes, if you haven't done so, please make sure you register for the HighLevel conference in Dallas. Even if you have a CRM, let's say you don't even use the HighLevel CRM, okay? You don't use a reseller. It's just a good business conference, okay? I wouldn't be going to it if it was all severely techie stuff, okay? No, there'll be plenty of strategic talk there, which is one of the reasons, like I said, I really do like to go. You can build the structure, but yeah, it's malleable. It can be a problem if you don't take the time to build it out. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Notion at all. Notion was pretty cool. Even visually, to tell you the truth, I would say visually, Notion looks better, okay? It's just that ClickUp, for me right now, is the right thing. And I may take a look at Notion later. I don't recall. I didn't hate it. I'll put it to you that way. So yeah, that's pretty much, oh, I'm sorry. I was going down to my notes here. So for my severely techie friends, you're going to start doing these things. Number 1, you're going to stop thinking in terms of minutes and hours and days, okay? And you're going to start thinking in terms of like weeks and months and quarters. Okay. You're going to start associating with people who think in terms of solving better problems. And this is an area where I am not doing a very good job right now, and I need to. I need to, for example, when I'm ready, I need to enroll into a program like Strategic Coach. And then, Strategic Coach, I need to move up from there eventually to their higher level coaching program. I could see me getting back involved in EOS sometime for company management once I staff up for people. These are all the cool things I want to do that as I'm kind of transforming and evolving as a business, I'm just not there yet. But I will get there. I have faith I will get there. I know that when I push myself away from this desk or from any desk I'm at, and I get with people that are doing strategic thinking in front of dry erase boards, we all learn and we all share a bunch of beautiful information. And that's the level I want to get back to. I've been there, done that. I've pivoted a couple of times on my business. I'm now back in an area where I'm not doing that as much, but I'm hoping to do some of that when I get down to Dallas in a few weeks, which is why I'm looking for office space the Monday morning, the 21st. I'm looking for a conference room to mastermind with some people. Okay. And I think I have one or two options. I want to be within walking distance of the event and the hotel down there, but that's one of my goals when I go down to Dallas to get my head off the keyboard so much and think in terms of higher level. So I can eventually get to that point where I've got the 12.9-inch iPad with the cellular connection, and I can just sit in a Starbucks or on a beach with a morning mimosa and run my business that way. Ain't nothing wrong with a morning mimosa. There's something wrong with a morning tequila shot, but there's nothing wrong with a morning mimosa, if you ask me, okay? Whiskey, that tends to be more of a later in the day thing, okay? Whiskey after 6, right? Whiskey after 6 or 7, okay? But yeah, that's what I had. That's what I wanted to cover today. And again, it was on my mind as usual because I realized that I have some habits right now which are not letting me do next level thinking. I need to fix that. Hopefully, this was useful for you. As always, if you have any comments, please drop them here, or obviously drop them on the YouTube channel or the Facebook feed. Something else I was going to ask you about real quick, also, that you have some opinions on and you don't need to answer right now, you can answer later, or you can text me or DM me, is I've been doing 3-a-week shows now for about a month or two, and I was thinking about switching this to maybe like a longer Monday show. So let me know what you think about that. Would it be easier to consume Patrick for like an hour or two on a Monday morning versus Monday, Wednesday, Friday? I'm just kind of curious about that. It would help my planning. It would help my production, and I actually think I could bring more value to a single show, jam packed with information, versus 3 shows a week and kind of splitting up the information I want to get out. Anyways, please let me know in DM. All of you are connected with me, so you know how to get a hold of me. Of course, if you haven't done so yet, please make sure you subscribe over on YouTube. And if you haven't been paying attention, I'm doing some really cool things on YouTube when it comes to getting subscribers and followers. If you haven't had a chance, go back and watch the show I did either Wednesday or Monday, where I talked about my YouTube paid marketing campaign, which was getting me up to 24 followers a day. It's actually gone up now. So I think yesterday I got 36 or 40 YouTube subscribers based on my YouTube strategy that I'm implementing right now. And it's really a simple YouTube strategy. So go take a look at it if you will. But until then, have a good weekend. For my technical friends, really quick, for my technical friends, or my high level friends, if you will. This previous Sunday, I did like a 3-hour live stream Sunday, completely off the cuff, talking about some technical issues and how to solve them. And it was like a live Q&A, and then I streamed live to YouTube and Facebook, and that got a lot of viewers also. So if you're interested in something like that, please let me know in the comments, and I'll whip up something for Sunday morning. But until then, my friends, have a great day. Thanks for watching. That's October 4th. And our next show is what? It will be 5th, 6th. Our next show will be the morning of October 7th. I will see you then.